The town of Hinton respectfully acknowledges that it is located on the First Peoples traditional lands. We recognize this traditional territory to show respect and understanding to those who have walked this land since time immemorial. Today, we uphold our ongoing responsibility to work together in the spirit of the intent of the treaties with all the First Peoples and the nations that call this place home. The town expresses
I go in because I just saw Jen sent numbers.
The town expresses gratitude for the opportunity to build a better community on these sacred lands for generations to come. And with that, I would like to call this Committee of the Whole meeting for October 14th to order. Council, any changes to the agenda? Administration?
Thank you, Chair. No changes.
Thank you, sir. Council, could I have a motion to adopt the agenda? And Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I would like to move the committee adopt the agenda as presented.
Thank you, sir. We do have a motion on the floor. The committee adopt the agenda as presented. Any discussion? And council, please vote no. And that is carried. Thank you. And Jen, we have one community announcement. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Mr. Kwasny was slated for the agenda, but he is not here today.
So he won't be attending at all?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to move into our presentations right now. Our first presentation is from the Hinton Municipal Library Board. Thank you, ladies. And I just want to give you a gentle reminder, the presentations are 10 minutes in length. And would you like a 5-minute little, okay, good. Okay, thank you very much.
There we go. Good. Okay. Hello. Thank you so much for having us here today. We're here on behalf of the Hinton Municipal Library Board. I am Shannon Schott, the manager of the library.
And I am Sue Armstrong, and I have been with the board for 4 years, and I've been serving as the chair of the board for the last 2 years. We're going to tag team this presentation. Our goal is to present the library's budget request for 2026, but in doing so, pardon me, we also want to showcase what we've been able to accomplish with the funding we received last year. Shannon, I'll turn it over to you. The mission? Oh, the mission. The mission's supposed to be mine. Messed up already. So the library mission actually comes out of our new plan of service. We're very excited to have adopted a new plan of service this year. So the library's mission for the next 4 years is that Hinton's Municipal Library will be a gathering place for literacy, information, entertainment, heritage, and lifelong learning.
So thanks to the support of the town, this is what Hinton patrons were able to do this year at the library. Of course, they read at the library. Naturally, the library prioritizes opportunities for people to read at the library, not just on their own, but also socially. We have a few keen regulars to our adult book clubs, and we're starting to see some new faces at our new early readers book club, which caters to kids in grades 1 to 3. Our biggest success story is the consistent participation in our weekly story time, which has a total of almost 600 participants this year. Couldn't believe it. Terry, who runs the story time, says that this program has been a great way for parents to make connections with other parents, and she often sees new friendships forming throughout the year, exchanging numbers, arranging playdates, and sharing information about other family resources in the community. Of course, they read at home as well. People are most often taking the books home to read. Since our top borrowers are families and teachers, we've highlighted the circulation of children's books and the increases we've seen in books for very young readers. The board books, picture books, and easy readers lay the foundation for a lifetime of reading. Our partnership with the Rotary Club for the Dolly Parton Imagination Library is a huge benefit to this community, and there are currently almost 300 kids in Hinton who are getting free books delivered to their house every single month. Our patrons read books in their languages. So our community includes a high number of French and Tagalog speakers, and the library is prioritizing the needs of those communities to empower them to read books in their own language. We added 60 books in languages other than English and are looking forward to expanding further in 2026. Library staff are also equipped to direct patrons to resources online or from other libraries to find anything that's not yet on our own shelves. And of course, we read all summer long. Our annual summer reading club was another hit. This year, we read over 175,000 minutes. The weekly crafts that were available in the library as a passive program, meaning families could pop in and do them whenever they needed to, were extremely popular and made for some very busy mornings at the library. We're not always quiet. Patrons played games for free. The library has modernized to offer the most popular current video game titles, and we have over 260 games available to borrow. If the average game costs about $70, then Hinton patrons saved approximately $30,000 just by borrowing video games from the library. We also have a console available for patrons to play inside the library, loaded up with cooperative multiplayer games, which gives kids an opportunity to make new friends and try out some games that they might not have a chance to play at home. They connected online. So access to reliable internet is an underrated resource in the community and one that Hinton patrons are clearly making use of. We saw an uptick in the number of times people at the library use their personal devices on our free Wi-Fi network. One possible reason for this increase is the renovations to our space last year, which means we now have more areas in the library for patrons to actually sit down with their own laptop or device and get some work done. They studied and learned. The library is a much needed resource for Hintonites who are completing online education and need to do virtual exams. We more than doubled the number of proctors we did last year, and patrons really appreciate the space we were able to create for this purpose. We're also seeing more use for the trades education resources we have available, helping to support the apprentices in or out of town, and therefore strengthening the workforce in Hinton. They advance their career. So the two main ways that the library has helped patrons to advance their careers by partnering with Hinton Employment and Learning Place to offer a resume review twice a month, and then by providing the trades resources in our front study room that were just mentioned. Staff at HELP reports that having access to employment services in a neutral, familiar environment like a library removes some pressure, feels more natural and less like a formal or stressful step, reducing the psychological barrier to seeking help. At the library, they've been able to help people with career advice, online application help, resume and cover letter assistance, and more. The trades practice exams we offer in the space has been a huge benefit to apprentices. We see consistent usage from tradespeople in town, and we've been happy to hear that at least one of them has come back and let us know that he was able to pass his real exam. That was very exciting. Patrons used our space. The other space available in the library is our meeting room, the Tom Peterson room. This room is plan A for a lot of people. We may be the first place they call for a birthday party or a presentation. They know the space is equipped with the tech they need and the central location to bring people together. This room is also often an important plan B for some groups. During the teacher strike, for example, this room was an alternative option for a group out of Jasper that was initially going to bring a workshop to the schools. Most notably this year, the Tom Peterson room, combined with the library's secure network and additional laptops, was the ideal alternative workspace for many Town of Hinton employees after the cybersecurity incident. They traded resources. So sometimes the community just needs a space where people can exchange resources with people they may never meet. We provide the space for things like this, the puzzle swap, leave a puzzle, take a puzzle, plant propagation station, leave a cutting, take a cutting, and the artist trading card station where artists in town swap small trading cards with their original work on it. Speaking of artists, in partnership with the Hinton Art Club, the library was a hosting location for the Alberta Community Art Clubs Association's Northern Zone Art Show. It's a bit of a mouthful. This event brought in artists from surrounding communities and also highlighted the incredible talent here in town. It was a huge success, and we're already talking about doing it again next year. they explored the past. So the biggest news of the year was our partnership with the Royal Tyrrell Museum, as they selected 8 libraries across Alberta to help them celebrate their 40th anniversary. Our library was chosen, and they brought in a cast of an Montessori skull that we will have on display for a full year. Our exciting unveiling party to announce the display had 240 visitors come by. The display has gotten lots of oohs and ahs from excited kids and adults alike. And patrons prepared to respond. So the library is continuing our mission to support Hintonites in preparation of wildfire response. Our newest addition to helping patrons prepare was our photo digitizing scanner, which empowers patrons to quickly and easily digitize their photos. The number one regret we heard from other communities that were recovering from wildfire evacuations was that they lost their family photos, which are irreplaceable. With this scanner, patrons can rest easy knowing that they have a backup copy and that they don't have to worry about bringing stacks of huge photo albums with them. Finally, Hinton patrons saved money. In total, it's over $500,000 from borrowing library items. Kids, families, and teachers top the list of who is saving the most money at the library. The savings doesn't even reflect the support provided by library staff for things like technology assistance, office services, and providing free programs on a weekly basis. These are services that aren't highly available in town, and library staff take that responsibility seriously, as they go the extra mile to make sure that somebody's fax was confirmed to go through successfully, or they catching the typo on a resume that the patron initially missed, or that they could help patron print some photos for a party without breaking the bank. These are real stories of what's happening on a daily basis at the library, the stories that go beyond the charts and the numbers that I collect throughout the year. I overhear conversations at the front desk every day, and what I hear is warm hellos, sighs of relief when library staff are able to help with the problem, earnest gratitude, and a have a wonderful day at the end. At our foundation, this is what library service is and what we've been happy to do every single day.
Okay, so now we get to look forward to 2026. And as I've mentioned, we recently, as a board, adopted a new plan of service. That's our fancy way of saying our strategic plan. And there's 3 main pillars for this plan. It's to satisfy curiosity, know your community, and visit a comfortable place. We're very excited to present the new plan of survey in greater detail to the new council when and if we're invited. So now we get to go down to the numbers for 2026, and our budget ask is $625,811. You'll see that our revenue has increased from the 2025, or our estimated revenue is increased from our 2025 budget. Our revenues include provincial funding, Yellowhead County, cost sharing, some sales of good, community contributions, and transfers from our library reserve. We are looking at transferring some reserve into this year's budget in order to undertake 2 capital replacement projects. One is to replace the self-checkout machine, and the other is to replace some furniture in the Tom Peterson room. If you've used that room, you know that the chairs are kind of an eclectic group of some that are kind of uncomfortable. So it's time to have a look at those. So a part of our increase in budget is a continuation of an additional staff member, a casual staff member that we added to the budget partway through this year in order to satisfy some need we had due to a sick leave situation. Some of the additional monies are also monies from reserve, and of course the normal cost of living increase. So if we can just touch briefly on the additional staff member, and this will conclude my presentation. So I'm almost done. 10 minutes goes really fast. One of the things that we found when we were understaffed because of one of our employees having to take a medical leave was that there was a potential increase in a staff member having to work alone. And we're not comfortable as a board to have that happen. So this casual position would alleviate the chance of that happening. It also increases the capacity for working within our archives. When we're short-staffed and busy, the archives is a little bit ignored, and this will give us the opportunity to spend more time in the archives, satisfying some requests that we receive for the historical information. It also would increase capacity for programming and, again, coverage for sickness and vacation. So we think that this casual position is really, really quite important. So I think that concludes my presentation, our presentation at this time. Very much open for questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope you didn't get the impression we were pressuring you.
Not at all, but 10 minutes goes really.
It does. And council, any questions? Councillor Hawes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As I was reading through this, and it's something that's new, but the saving of money is something that's very interesting, and it sounds to me this is more just, I think it doesn't capture everything, from whether it's, what are you saving, not having internet potentially because I can't afford it, so I can come to the use free internet there. So, it's interesting to see what a citizen may, or what the town of Hinton overall can save at the library, and be interesting to see if there's some way of also capturing that a little more closely in regards to the different services. Definitely. I think the other thing, if I just take a moment to speak to the increase in budget and the casual staff, I just want to add to that, and being part of the board, there's also I think it's a relief to the current staff members as well, because there seems to be kind of that culture where I can't be sick, I can't take vacation, because then I'm taking away those services potentially. This, I think, also eases up some of that strain and tension on the current staff, that it's okay to take some time off, because we got it covered. There also the fact that for safety reasons, the board did talk about, without doing this, the chances of closing the library when we only had one staff member, because it's an occupational health and safety issue. So, I'm happy to say that this has solved this issue, even though it is a small amount in the budget increase, but I think it's absolutely necessary. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'm seeing no more questions from council. Thank you so much for your presentation and your dedication to the library. Thank you.
Thanks.
Council, we will move on with reports from administration, and we will start with 5.1, which is RCMP Civilian Governance, CAO.
Thank you, Chair, and I will refer this one to Mr. Murphy.
Thank you, Chair and Committee. This policing committee bylaw, in terms of references, back before you a second time on September 9th, 2025. The first draft of the bylaw in terms of reference was provided to you based on that review by yourselves and the questions that were posed by the committee. Some additional work was done since that time period. So in compliance with the motion to bring this back for further discussion, administration has made contact with the province of Alberta, was able to obtain very pertinent information related to the questions posed by the committee. So based with this additional information, we have a revised terms of reference. So the bylaw itself remains the same, but the terms of reference has changed. That change has been outlined in the analysis portion of the administration report. I won't go through it point by point. However, I do want to just spend a few seconds on a few of those points. The first is just an error that's on the administrative report where it states 3.11 public complaint director. That should actually be 3.10 in the terms of reference. With respect to the public complaints director, there was a few questions related to that, and there was a lot of unknown, to be quite frank. Based on the information from the province, it has been made clear to us that it is actually optional for municipality to include a public complaints director. They did kind of outline some of the points that I've included in the administrative report on what that position would do or could do. I also made just a notation at the very bottom that it is possible that the province does mandate that as being a requirement moving forward, but at this point in time, it does remain completely optional. So what we're doing here today is bringing this back before you with the recommended action that committee direct administration to return the policing committee bylaw number 2023 to a future regular council meeting for decision. And I will leave it at that, pending any questions that anybody has.
Thank you, sir, very much. Councillor Chambers.
The Mayor Nissen, if you're looking at the screen there, I'm sitting in her seat.
Yes. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Chair, and through the chair to administration. Director Murphy, you mentioned the item 310 in our terms of reference, the public complaint director. Now, you just briefly mentioned that that is optional. If we were to today to determine that we do not want to move forward with a public complaint director, what effect would that have on our committee and the way that our committee would work?
So it would have a minimal impact at this point in time. So there is currently processes already in place for people to make complaints against the RCMP, which is specific to this committee. Those would remain in place. And the information I received from the province is at this point in time, that is basically what they're going to require is that the RCMP continue with their current operations, whether it's the Professional Standards Unit or the CRCC out of Ottawa to handle those complaints. What this position would do, however, is kind of a point of contact for the community. So this person would be identified as the public complaints director. They would be able to steer people that maybe don't know the method of making a complaint to the appropriate channels. They would also be able to continually monitor and report back to the committee, to the member in charge, to council with respect to any trends that they're noticing with respect to concerns being raised against the local law enforcement. But at this point in time, should you choose not to proceed with this, it is easy. There'd be 2 notations removed from the terms of reference. And it would move forward. The committee would move forward with the other duties assigned to them as outlined in the terms of reference.
Thank you. Madam Chair, do you have anyone else in the queue?
No, sir.
Oh, then I'd like to seek a consensus. I'd like to seek consensus that committee direct administration to remove the position of public complaint director from the draft bylaw, or from the terms of reference, sorry, the Hinton Police Committee terms of reference. And if I can speak to it for a moment.
Certainly.
So council, committee, I'm interested in your opinions on this one. I'm not seeing a real role for the public complaint director in the legislation as it's currently written, and I have some concerns about the makeup of who may be assigned to be that person at this stage, and then what exactly they could do for the community. I'm really concerned about putting someone in a position where they're the point of contact for the municipality on a complaint process that they don't even know what it's supposed to be. I just don't see any value there, but I am open to being swayed as well. I want to have the discussion. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. Councillor McGowan, is this,
Yep.
You're speaking towards the direction?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, that I will happily support that. For myself, I just being a little frank, I've been a little uncomfortable about this section of some of the proposed changes. For the vast majority of my time on council, the RCMP committee in its, couple of different forms has been one of the committees that I've been on. And the one thing that's always been made very clear to myself and our community members is that there's a very public, very transparent way that an individual with complaints can go about engaging and having their thoughts and their concerns heard through Ottawa, which in effect acts like a very neutral party to, seriously hear complaints and move forward with any concerns that a citizen might have. In the last several years, the reason I guess that the spider sense is tingling a little bit is that the provincial government has made some very serious inroads over the last, call it 4 or 5 years, where they've said that they want to create a provincial police force, and they're trying to make policing their business. When we've sat through AM meetings with hundreds of other municipalities who've said that this is a poor idea. And personally, what it feels like is that they're trying to play to some minorities in rural areas who are unhappy with their policing service. And for me, this just feels like another way to get involved in the business of policing, and the province has no business doing that. And I have no interest in politicizing that at the local level. I have great faith in the processes through Ottawa to thoroughly investigate any serious concerns that people have. This is not a tool to go on a witch hunt against our local RCMP forces by those people who are politically motivated to do so. That I have a real concern with. And even though we haven't seen that yet, this is what I'm really concerned might be happening with the processes that have been outlined by the province thus far. And if I'm wrong about that, great. I'm happy to be wrong. Unfortunately, it looks, sometimes I feel like if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably duck.
Thank you, sir. Councillor Hawes, before I move on to you, Jen, do you have that direction ready to put up? Okay, so the direction that people are speaking to right now is that committee seek consensus to remove the public complaint director, PCD, from the terms of reference for the draft policing committee bylaw number 2023. Councillor Hawes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I'm in full support of this. I think this is a new committee. There's going to be growing pains, with everything, and then adding this that's really unnecessary, I think is just being able to remove it is the right thing to do until we're mandated if the province chooses to. But I think there's processes in place that makes it unnecessary to be part of this committee. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Council, before I call the question, is there anyone else who would like to speak? And I'm seeing no one. I'll call the question that committee seek consensus to remove the public complaint director, PCD, from the terms of reference for the draft policing committee bylaw number 2023. Council, please vote no. And that is carried. Thank you. And council, is there anything more with this? Oh, here we go. And Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have another question for administration. Under committee membership, it outlines the constitution of the committee being the chief elected official, a member of council, and 3 citizens at large. Those citizens at large are going to have to supply an enhanced security check. I'm curious from administration's perspective, is this something that we're going to be asking for in advance of applying to be on the board, or is this something we're going to check after it's come to council and council's made a decision on board members? Have we considered this?
Through the chair to the rest of the committee, there's been nothing firmly set with respect to that. However, typically with these processes, as part of the application process, they would have to provide that security clearance, that enhanced security clearance prior to, as part of that process of putting their name forth.
Okay, Madam Chair, may I follow up?
Certainly.
Thank you. And so keeping that in mind, that's a great answer. Then going further to section 8 in miscellaneous, we talk about the remuneration and members are going to be volunteers without remuneration, reimbursed for travel expenses, explicitly stated in this terms of reference. Who will bear the cost of the enhanced security screening? And do we need to make it explicit in this terms of reference or bylaw?
Thank you through the chair, members of council. So typically what we do is we reimburse committee members for costs as it relates to getting onto the committee. So if we have set maybe some prerequisites and they get those on our behalf, then we do pay for those.
Okay, may I follow up again, Madam Chair?
Certainly, sir.
Thank you. So on this specific issue, because of the logistics of how we actually pay for and administer background checks, is there a mechanism by which for this committee we can have administration perhaps provide applicants with a form or something that allows them to go over to the RCMP shack and not have to pay directly to then get a receipt from town administration to get reimbursed by town administration? Is there any mechanism to make that a little bit smoother and easier for our potential applicants?
Through the mayor, and I'll look to, I can't see Mr. Murphy, but he may have something to add. But I do know that as an organization, I believe the first one is done by an employee, and then the regular checks that occur afterwards, it is a signed piece of paper on behalf of the employer that gives, or the employee to give the employer the right to go and pull those criminal record checks after the fact. So we will have to look into this or a little bit more, but our hope is that we could just cover it and kind of avoid that that additional effort on behalf of the applicants. But Mr. Murphy?
Thank you. Through the chair to the rest of the committee, with respect to most volunteer positions, when it comes to criminal record checks, typically what will happen is a letter is created for that volunteer, who will then bring that letter to the RCMP detachment with them that identifies them as a volunteer for this agency and allows them to do so. What differs in this situation, of course, is that as part of that actual application process, they're not yet selected to be a volunteer. However, we could have some further discussions to see if there's any way to streamline that a little bit easier to make sure that they're not out costs for an extended period of time.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. Councillor Haas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to clarify on Mayor Nissen's questions, so those individuals that do apply, that the reimbursement of their advanced criminal check would only be to those that were successfully appointed. So those that aren't, just so they're aware, they would not be reimbursed for that, correct?
I'll let Mr. Murphy answer the first one, but the one thing that we can do that might be a little bit different is we can create maybe an affidavit or a signed piece of paper that says that to the best of somebody's knowledge, there is no reason that they would not pass an advanced screening test.
Mhm.
And then when we appoint them, then we could go through that process, because I don't know exactly the length or the costs related to that process, but it might be expensive and it might be timely. So maybe that's another way that we could look into as administration, just to make it a little bit easier. And I'm quite sure everybody putting their name forward would do so in good faith, and then we could eliminate some of the costs and some of the barriers to the other applicants. But we would have to look into that a little bit.
Okay, thank you. I have my original question, if I may, please. So I want to talk about 3.2 again, because it talks about the minister could appoint additional members. So the recommendation that we're, or what the administration recommending is we appoint 3 members from the public to this committee. But there can be 3 to 7 is what I'm understanding. So I'm just curious, because I mean, I prefer, not having the ministry to come in and appoint to be honest. So would it be maybe advisable to consider maybe 5 members of the community versus 3, trying to eliminate the possibility of the province coming in and appointing 2 more or 3 more or whatever they're going to appoint? Any thoughts on that, administration?
Through the chair to committee. Very good question, and it's a question that was posed to the province of Alberta to try to get some more information on when this would actually occur. I was told in that conversation they have yet to do so within the province of Alberta. They have not appointed any provincial members to any of the municipal policing committees. And I want to say committees that differentiate from commissions. Those commissions are, of course, those large cities such as Edmonton, Calgary, whatnot. So I was told that they were not. The makeup of this committee is very consistent with municipalities our size with that number. With that being said, there is nothing stopping council should they want to increase the members of public. It's just that was the consistent number from some of our other similar sized municipalities that they were utilizing. And with allowing a little bit of space, should there be the need down the road for the provincial side of things. But again, I'll just emphasize that I was told that has not been done. And to the person I was speaking to, they did not have any information on their behalf at that point in time that that would be happening anytime soon.
Okay. So just a point of clarification then. So this additional member wouldn't necessarily then be a community member of Hinton. This could be a provincial member. Is that what you're saying?
Through the chair to committee, yes, that is my understanding that they would appoint somebody on behalf of the province, whether it was somebody from Yellowhead County or somewhere else. I do not have that information, but it'd be up to them and to identify that person and appoint them to the committee.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And thank you, Councillor Haas. I just have a point of clarification from what you just mentioned. The committee the committee shall consist of a chief elected official, one member of council, and 3 citizens at large. So as I read that, and I understand that's 5 voting members appointed by the community of Hinton and potentially up to 2 more additional members from the province to meet our 7 members. Is that correct?
Through chair to administer committee, that would be correct. They would have that ability up to 7, but there's nothing saying that they have to do that or that they have any intention to do so. But you are correct. It'd be 5 voting members, and then of course you would have the non-voting members as part of that committee as well.
Now, in item 3.2 here, it mentions the minister may appoint a maximum of 3 provincial members in accordance with Section 7 of the Police Governance Regulation, and I believe that the legislation gives them that up to 3. Now, should the province choose to appoint 3, that would put us in a situation where we'd have 8 members. Would we simply lose a citizen at large, or is there another way that that gets dealt with?
Through the chair to committee, good question. I was told, and I asked that very specific question, and was told that they would not appoint 3. There was only room for 2. It would be 2 should they chose to do so. They would never put us outside of those limits, if you will. So we would never be in a position where we would have to remove somebody from within town to accommodate somebody from the province.
If we appointed 6, would they only appoint 1?
Again, if they chose to appoint, potentially.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. Council, is there more discussion on this topic? I've not seen the recommended option come up. Councillor Haas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move that committee direct administration to return the policing committee bylaw number 2023 to a future regular meeting for decision as amended. If I can quickly speak to it.
Certainly.
I appreciate the amendment removing that particular position. I do have, I think, a little bit of concerns, maybe looking at potentially knowing that they haven't appointed yet. However, I don't imagine there's been a lot of traction on this because it is fairly new, obviously. This is going to come again to council to think about whether we want to maybe add a couple of additional community members to get us up to 7. Because I quite frankly have no interest in having a provincial committee member on that committee. But at this point, I think I'm comfortable with what it is at this point. And I do appreciate administration coming back with all the answers to the questions we had. And thank you to the province for having those answers. I think that's the important part too. So thank you, Madam Chair.
I just want to get the direction up. Jen, do you have the direction ready? Good, thank you. So council, we do have a direction on the floor that committee direct administration to return the policing committee bylaw number 2023 to a future regular council meeting for decision as amended. Councillor McGowan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Understanding the direction that we have to go in order to maintain our municipal committee, I'll vote, or pardon me, I'm certainly going to support this moving forward. And I appreciate the hard work of administration in trying to suss out some of the details and some of the questions that we had, and getting us some answers. I am concerned. You know, for the better part of 13 years as a councillor, the province had no interest in being involved with policing committees at all. You know, and I think back to, you know, over a decade ago, you know, we had local people who would bring concerns forward. All of our staff sergeants were top drawer at addressing those concerns and making sure that they were getting dealt with. And for the really big stuff, if it happened, it went through its third-party process through Ottawa the way it should be. I am deeply concerned that in the last several years, since the province has made it very clear that their goal is to replace the RCMP with a provincial police force, now all of a sudden they're taking an interest in this. To me, that's that doesn't just happen. That's not just a coincidence. I have concerns. I think it's disrespectful to our police force who put their lives on the line every day, and it's disrespectful to the people who were invested in that process long before the province was. So this is just something that my eye will be on moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And through the chair to committee, I will be supporting the direction as it stands on the floor, but and knowing that this is just coming back to a future meeting of council and a future council is going to take a look at this. But one of the concerns that I do have is because this is potentially soliciting 3 volunteers from our community, I am concerned about the process of the enhanced security screening, the cost, and what it's going to take to do that, especially prior to volunteering. I don't want to see that cost fall on any citizen, whether they're accepted to the committee or not. I don't think that that's fair to ask for volunteers and put something, an administrative and cost burden on a potential volunteer like that, even if they weren't a good fit. So I really hope that the next council, when this comes back, here's some good plans about how we can mitigate those potential costs and barriers, and then advertise and get the best volunteer candidates that we possibly can from the community. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. Councillor House.
Yeah, I just want to, you know, I appreciate Councillor McGoon's. I have some similar concerns. One thing that I am grateful that we did do is when administration first brought this forward, whether we were going to be a regional committee or keep it local, I'm very pleased that we kept it local. You know, because I think there'd be a greater chance of some of that involvement in, you know, and we'd get lost in the shuffle. So I really appreciate that we made that decision back when we did. And again, you know, I share, you know, also Mayor Nissen's concerns with, you know, many committees, you know, there's you sign up, put an application in, this is creating another level in cost too. So I too am hoping to see how we can assist in that moving forward. So, but overall, I think, you know, I think having the citizens on the committee is a good move. You know, and having that safety plan, I think there's a lot of potential for advocacy as well with this committee. One in particular element is the homelessness. I'm hoping that this committee can discuss that and maybe come up with some possible solutions to advocate for the province. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councillors, or anything more on this item? And seeing nothing, I will call the question that committee direct administration to return the policing committee bylaw number 2223 to a future regular council meeting for decision as amended. Council, please vote now. And I'm not seeing it on my screen at all. Does anybody have it? Here we go. Good, and that is carried. Thank you very much, everyone. Is there any more discussion on this before we move on? And seeing none. Next item is correspondence, and that is found on page 42 of your package. And the first one is NGTL GP McLeod South project update. And Councillor Haas.
I'd like to move to accept the correspondence as presented.
Thank you, sir. Is there any discussion on that, council? And seeing none, I will call the question that committee accept the correspondence for information. Please vote now. And I'm seeing everyone now, and that is carried. Thank you. And correspondence number 2, 6.2, the Halton Region Correspondence Resolution. Oh, okay. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. We're going to be moving on to reporting right now, and I will start with Councillor Chambers.
Thank you. I attended the West Yellowhead Regional Waste Management meeting on Monday. They approved their interim budget. And other than that, I don't have anything else to report on.
Thank you very much. And Councillor Stashik.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have any official council business to report on. I did just want to say, coming to the end of my time on council, I did just want to say that serving on council has been an honor, and I'm grateful for the experience. Regardless of how the election pans out, I sincerely hope that next council administration and the community are able to respectfully and productively work together to help keep our community moving forward. And I just wanted to say thank you, Hinton. And that's it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. Councillor McGowan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, no official council business, as Councillor Ostashik said. I do just want to start by thanking all of council as we come to the end of a council term and administration for everybody's support and hard work in going through and doing the work week by week. It's much appreciated. It's been a pleasure working with everybody. I would like to send out a very special thank you to Councillors Ostashik, Councillor Race, even though he's left the community and moved on, former Councillor Taylor, for your long service. I've appreciated working with you, your thoughts, your different opinions. I appreciate the strength that each of you brought to the table. And it's certainly, you're going to be missed. So thank you so much. It was certainly a pleasure. And administration, thanks so much for helping us get through and understanding all the little details that we don't understand when it happens, and answering the same question rephrased in 3 different ways, and however that happens in those meetings, being patient and understanding with us. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councillor Haas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Nothing to report, but I do have one committee meeting before ending my term. So I have an ASH meeting on Sunday, so looking forward to that. But I too also want to thank council, all of council, and to administration and all the community, for all the hard work over the last term. And I echo, the fact, saying goodbye to Councillors Ostashik and Councillor Race. You've been a great addition to this council for many years now, and you're going to be truly missed. So I thank you for your time as well. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Chair. From a reporting standpoint, last week, Councillor Stashik, you asked for the contact information for the CBC reporter. That's in all of your inboxes now. And if anyone in the community is looking for it, please contact me and I can help share it. Happy to make sure that our media gets out there. Coming to the end of our term, I want to congratulate all the councillors sitting here for making it to the end. The last 2 years for me, been a whirlwind. We came in and the first thing I remember was getting yelled at by a group of golfers for something that this poor council had to deal with from the start in a way that we really weren't set up for success. And I'm very proud of the council that we've had the discussions, that we've had the debates. We don't see eye to eye on everything. We don't agree on everything. And I think that's perfect. I really appreciate all of you standing up for what you believe in, standing up for your community and coming out and representing. But most importantly, I want every one of you to pat yourselves on the back a little bit, because I think we've handed the thing over much better condition than it was when we found it. And I do believe that we've set the next council up for success with whatever they decide to achieve. So thank you very much for your service to your community. This has been great working with all of you. And I kind of look at this like getting off a plane. Some of us might get back on, but the crew's never going to be the same. So thank you very much. And from administration standpoint, you've got lots of work to do going ahead while we are done. It's just getting started for you, but thank you for all of your hard work over the last 2 years, and good luck moving on to the future with whatever this council looks like next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have 2 committee meetings this week. One is with Arch and the other one is with Community Futures. I would like to say that I'm the emotional one on council. I'm going to make this real quick. I think the world of all of you. And Hinton, I absolutely love you guys. Wish all of council who is running the best of luck. Admin, you guys are awesome. That's, I'll wrap it up. So, CAO.
Thank you, Chair. I do have one piece of official business, but I did send out something late last week to council. But we do have officially 47 housing starts in 2025 that has surpassed our records going back 10 years. I believe that the last was about 45. So we have reached our 10-year high for housing starts. So I think that's a major accomplishment and very optimistic to see for the town of Hinton. The non-official part, I too want to thank council for all of your service after the last 4 years. I've been with you for the last 3, but it has been a real pleasure to serve this council. I've seen council lead with integrity, and I'm very proud to see that what we've collectively accomplished on all of these big mammoth issues that have been lingering for a long time. And, council's always been willing to roll up their sleeve and make some big progress on all of those. So I think, we should all be pretty proud of over the last term of council. And Councillor Stashik, Councillor Race, wish you all the best and whatever you decide to do next. To the incumbents, best of luck, and to all the candidates, and we'll see you on election day.
Thank you, sir, very much. The last thing, I have the privilege of asking for a direction to adjourn, and that would be Councillor Stashik.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move the committee adjourn.
Thank you, sir. We do have a direction on the floor. Any questions? And seeing none, I will call the question that committee adjourn the meeting at 4:52 p.m. Please vote no. And that is carried. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Well done, everyone.
Yeah,
Well done.
less than an hour.